So I've been really tripping out on the concept and the phrase, the old Yankee phrase, you can't get there from here. You can't get there from here. I'm not good with that accent. Mainer accent, Vermonter accent. I think it's a kind of pan-northern New England phrase that some of you, I'm sure, have heard. And it's kind of, been thrown out there in the popular lexicon maybe in the last 50 years as just kind of like a quaint New England, like countryism. But I think there's so much more there than most of the time we tend to give it credit for. I've been hanging out, as I do tend to each sugar season, with my neighbor Harold, whose family has been here since the late 1700s. And whenever I hang out with old-timers, him included, but kind of anyone local who's been here a long time, who's at least 60, if not 70 or 80, I realize like how many assumptions I have about especially the future that they don't tend to have, like, in any way, shape, or form. And it's hard to get it across just how deep it is. But I'll be like, oh, Harold, like, it looks like this coming week's going to be a real good sugar run. Or it looks like this, I said that to his wife. I said, look, the forecast looks great. And she's like, yeah, I don't know. Like, we'll see. There were no expectations. I'm like, wow, that's a spectacular forecast. I don't think it's that she doesn't look at a weather forecast, but it's just kind of like, it'll be what it is. And said to Harold, like, oh, this seems like a really good old school sugar season. We were like halfway through it when I said it. It's been a good run. Seems like it's going to be a really good year, huh? He's like, deadpan, I'll let you know in May. Like after I sell all the syrup I made. Not only after the season's done, but then when I sell it all, I'll know. Which is true. Everything else is conjecture. And it's just, I don't know, I think there's something in the modern mind. And I say this personally. I realize that I have this affliction, if you will, or just tendency that just makes assumptions about the future because we have a lot of information and we have a good weather forecast. They're pretty good 2, 3, 4, 5 days out. But for that and so many other reasons, we have information. Maybe it's new information, or maybe it's just a different way of seeing. I think that often gets us into trouble. That just isn't, it shouldn't be taken as kind of the way it should be, or as even necessarily positive. This kind of mindset that tends to just make a lot of expectations and assumptions about things, really, before it is. And we are often wrong. We all know that. But it's just interesting. Whenever I've had this experience of hanging around old timers, you just realize, wow, that's just not, that doesn't have to be implicit at all. And it's almost to a striking extent, like, just, hard telling, not knowing is another great phrase. Say something to someone, oh, like, gonna get a lot of hay bales in this year, huh? Or like, is the hay season gonna be good? And talking to this old guy, Donnie Jocelyn, who passed away last year. I shared a photo of him on my Instagram that was really neat, and people really liked it. And he's like, hard telling, not knowing, like it's not then yet. We're not there yet. So not only not gonna say, but like genuinely, I don't know. It's not that time yet. And I think there's a lot to learn from that sense of things, of just kind of zero expectations and really zero assumptions. And it's effortless. Like it seems like when I get this sense from old timers, they're not trying to have this sense at all. It's just deadpan. It's just how it is. I don't think they've even had to be trained in it. It just is. It is their outlook or non-outlook. And as much as I speak for myself, and I think most people I know in their 20s, 30s, 40s, even 50s, who are kind of always implicitly making a lot of conjecture. And I think there's a lot to learn there. So you can't get there from here. Also, that brings up this sense to me as I work with clients year after year, continuing down my 20th year of helping people plan, find land and plan their homestead and farm, and wanting, realizing that a lot of us increasingly want to kind of have a life that we haven't growing up, or we want to change things, and culturally we want a different way than we have, a more viable way that's not this crazy impossible nightmare to some extent of a world we've created, of a lot of impossible situations, for all its good things. There's many just complete impossibilities that need to change, that are totally unsustainable, and this sense that let's become sustainable, let's be green, let's be renewable, let's just switch. And that it's like, no, it doesn't really work that way. Like, you can't get there from here. Like, we are in such a radically different place, and it's taken decades, generations, at least a few, if not more, maybe in some ways dozens, to get into this problem. We're not just gonna be like, yeah, we need a different way, and be in that different way. We can't get there from here. We have to go maybe there, and then over there, and then to there, and then maybe we'll get there. But it reminds me also of just that this whole different frame of thinking in relationship to time. I mean, you think about people who have dwelled in places for many, many generations, and they often have these structures where, like, oh, you want to be a woodworker? Okay, you're going to learn to sharpen for the first 5 years. When you can get the tools truly sharp, okay, then you can maybe start building some simple boxes. You're not going to just be a master woodworker. You're not just going to be a woodworker. You're going to be an apprentice for the first 15 years. And then you will eventually have true mastery if you take that path, that long trajectory. And just such a different humanity can have so many different frames of reference and for what's normal and in existence. And so anyway, I've been pondering that stuff lately. A little different type of video here for y'all, but wanted to share what I'm thinking about. Hope you're all well.